proof that the medical industry is lying to you, I believe. And I will prove it to you because I personally have had multiple experiences that I want to share with you quickly. First, regarding COVID, one of the greatest things to stop it, to kill it, to stop it in its tracks is the monoclonal antibodies. They released it. I had it multiple times, and within a few hours, you start to feel better immediately. It just kills the hell out of it. It's a very old technique that was done for a lot of decades using monoclonal antibodies to kill viruses. So they geared it toward COVID. Now, when they pulled it off the market, it was so successfully working for people who are immunocompromised or for cancer patients. And when I heard it's working for them, I said, hey, freaking let's try it for, us regular people as well and see if we could do it. And if it, works for them, it's got to work for us. And it did. And it was a really hard thing to get approved and to find where it was given at the time. And I was one of those people who got hit with COVID multiple times. And it was really hard. And the thing is that it immediately just piles antibodies into you to kill it. And it really does. It just overwhelms the virus and kills it. Now, they pulled it off the market. Why? Because they claimed, quote unquote, they claimed that it no longer would work against the new variant strain. So when there was Delta, that version of COVID, and this is just one of many stories I'm about to share with you, they said, oh, it doesn't work on the new strain, we're pulling it. Total BS. How do I know that? Because I luckily was able to buy off of the doctor 2 more vials for 2 different potential future cases of getting the COVID virus, and I thought this could be a perfect way to get a private nurse to give me the infusion if I caught COVID again. So again, the new strain doesn't work. The monoclonal antibodies does not work. Lies. Because when I got it months later, again, I was very sick, tested positive for COVID, and they wanted to give me, like the Paxlovid, which I've also taken. That works, but it gives you a terrible metal taste in your mouth and it could affect your other organs and it takes longer to work. So I had a new strain, the new strain of COVID, and they gave me the vial that I bought. I gave it to the nurse and they gave it to me. Bang, a few hours later, better. Fast forward again to the following year, getting COVID. I got it a few times and I tried the Paxlovid like I mentioned, but again, now we're a year later, we're in a brand new strain. The old monoclonals don't work. We've pulled it off the market. Well, I still have 1 vial left. Let's check it out. Bang. Took it. Boom. Better. Right away. It does work. They lied. 100% lies. I called the hospital. They said, we got a letter stating, this is Mount Sinai and St. Luke's. This is all the hospitals, not just them, all of them. And they also, we got a letter saying it doesn't work. We must discard all the monoclonal antiviral vials and discard all of them. I was like, are you kidding me? All the monoclonal antibodies they have to discard because a letter claimed that it doesn't work on the new strain and they're going to try to invent it. This is all money. This is all the big pharma trying to find new ways to fund new versions of the same thing. And it's very frustrating because no matter what they said, each strain that I got, which was a different strain, and I was tested and I have all the tests and everything, bang! It worked. The old monoclonal antibody worked. So they never had to pull it off the market. And it infuriates me that they are using us like sheeple, aka cattle, or sheep people hurting us, and hurting us as well, to make money off of us and our illnesses that they've probably, had something to do with. It's a terrible kind of thing that's occurred here. So that's number 1. Number 2, Tamiflu. One of the greatest inventions to stop people who have the flu from getting sick and staying sick. I was so sick, I would get the flu constantly. Every year I would get the flu 1 or 2 times, and I'd be sick for like weeks. It was horrific, terrible temperature, terrible. When they invented Tamiflu and I took it, bang, literally by the next day I started to get better. Incredible. It's incredible. Now I see doctors, oh, Tamiflu doesn't work. I don't prescribe it to anybody. I said, yes, it does work because every time I get the flu and I test positive for it, I take a Tamiflu and I'm better. I take the whole Tamiflu every time. The doctor's like, really? But I read, literature that said it's not working. No, it freaking worked for me. So I'm talking from personal experience, guys. And I'm not the only one. It's all over the internet. It's all over Google. Look it up. I'm like one of many thousands of people who post about this stuff. And it just bothers me and upsets me. Sorry about the mess I just moved in. It's very, very upsetting that they're acting this way. You know what I'm saying? And I should say just move the boxes into this room, I mean. Anyway, the point is that it is a very upsetting scenario that they're using us again and lying to the people just so they could find new things to prescribe and up the sales of pharmaceuticals. Again, Pfizer has made a fortune over, forcing their one type of cure or prevention or whatever you want to call it. It's a money grab. It's just terrible the way they're doing it. And it's not just that. I have other examples. Let's take, for example, something non-invasive like medicine or whatever. Let's take, for example, people have back injuries. I had a back injury, etc. Very hard to deal with. And I saw this one doctor, he's like, this patient was telling me how I have to change the mattress, and the mattress makes all the difference in the world regarding whether or not I'm in pain and, how it affects my back. And the guy was like, that's malarkey, that's BS. The mattress type has nothing to do with it. I said, you're wrong. And I wish I even fought this harder with the guy. He's wrong. It makes all the difference in the world, especially when I had a back injury and I was sinking into the mattress. It would make my spine kind of curve down and press and impinge upon the nerve pain from the damage I had. When I got a firmer mattress and I'd lay on top of it, it kept me firm and straight. And I had literally like less pain immediately when I woke up the next day, simply just from laying on a firmer mattress. A very important kind of thing. So a lot of doctors, I think, are unaware of the corruption that's involved. And remember, hospitals are owned mostly by private corporations. So these things are oftentimes funded by a corporation whose job it is to make money. Surgeons make money every time they operate. So it's very important to know who's legit, who knows, who doesn't know. A lot of the doctors are unaware. I remember one doctor tried a surgeon. He was like, oh my God, your father, he could die from this, bowel impingement and this whole thing if I don't operate on the hernia and stitch it up. And my, dad felt nauseous. We didn't know what to do. And he's like, do you want him to die? You better approve of getting the surgery. He says, okay. I asked my father, you want it? This is a long time ago. And he's okay, they did the surgery. They took out the hernia. They stitched it up and sewed it together, however they do that stuff. And then I saw the surgeon after and I said, hey, listen. I said, was it actually, he thought there was a hole inside and that the bile was going through it. I said, so were you right? Was there actually a tear inside? And was the bile, going in and infecting him and it could give him E. coli, God forbid? And the doctor's like, no. I said, no? He says, no. I said, so he didn't need to have the surgery like you thought? He's like, no. He says like that expression, that delay, that frustration. I was like, oh, and he didn't offer that. He didn't tell us that. I had to ask him and follow up. Every time, guys, if God forbid you or your family, anybody you know needs surgery, don't have a student operate on you because a lot of errors go along with teaching hospitals. Make sure the actual experienced surgeon does the work, number one. Number two, ask what their puncture rate is, if they have had problems or puncture issues with, injections. You have to talk to them about specific to whatever it is. And ask, in your personal experience, what percentage of patients had complications from whatever it is that you want them to perform on you. And ask questions. You have to kind of work in tandem with the doctor together. Patient-doctor partnership. Make sure you get someone that's, you like, that's honest, has a good track record. See if they'll let you speak to the other patients if necessary. And I wish I had better solutions for how to overcome this stuff with Big Pharma. It's really hard. Look for clinical trials for things. There's lots of new tech, a lot of new technologies coming out. And if you go to, what is it called? Clinicaltrial.gov, I think it is, clinicaltrials.gov. G-O-V. I think you could check for clinical trials. That's risky, of course, because it's untested, but you could, investigate that to see if there's something you need there. When it comes to cancer type of stuff, God forbid anything bad happens to anybody, but you probably saw the interview, if you haven't, look it up on YouTube, of Mel Gibson with Joe Rogan and what he was talking. Even if you hate the guys, it doesn't matter. Listen to the information he's talking about. And then you go down this rabbit hole of them saying that these parasite killers like fenbenzonol, ivermectin, methylene blue, things like, what's it called again? There's like, they're dewormers, anti-parasite medicines, right? And, zeolite you have to take to get the metals out first. It's a whole technique you have to go through. But even though that's really parasite killers, they have found in medical clinical research, according to Google, if you look it up, and you research through that rabbit hole, you'll see there's actual real clinical trials and papers, I should say, and clinical reports, I mean to say, that actually talk about it accidentally killing cancer cells as well. If that's true, that could be a big game changer for people. What it does is when you take the medicine, basically it's tainting your blood, and cancer and tumors feed off of your blood, right? And if you taint the blood with this deworming medicine, ivermectin, fenbenzonol, methylene blue, the zeolite, all that stuff, it seems to also accidentally kill the cancer cells without hurting you, according to what it says online. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, don't take any advice from me, but I am begging you to research it on Google and make your own decision, talk to your own doctors about it, talk to your own medical professionals about it, and see if you can find somebody that can validate anything that you're interested in looking up. Okay, guys, I hope this is helpful. I think that we have trouble knowing who to trust anymore because we don't know what the heck's going on in the world, so let's hope that we could try to do our own research and get real, legitimate, classic doctors who care about our well-being, not the ones who are just kind of working in the system or getting a paycheck, but who really care, who do research. Hard to find. And let's see if we could all help each other and be good to each other out there, guys. And let's hope there's some good breakthroughs and we could help each other heal and be less sick in the world, This is comic book artist, writer, and director Graig Weich from BeyondComics.tv. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share. And as they say in comic books, to be continued. Let's hope for good health. Peace.